In the Tudor court, women lived under constant pressure, where favor could turn overnight. Some of the most haunting traces they left behind are the letters written in moments of fear, imprisonment, and survival. One of the most shocking is from Anne Boleyn, once Queen of England, whose fall in 1536 was as sudden as it was scandalous. She had been married to Henry VIII for just under 3 years, a union that had already reshaped English religion and politics. After years at the center of power, she was suddenly arrested and accused of adultery with several courtiers, as well as with her brother George Boleyn. She was also accused of witchcraft and treason against Henry VIII. Many historians believe these charges were politically engineered to allow the king to remove her and remarry. She had failed to produce the male heir he desperately wanted, surviving only the birth of Elizabeth, alongside several miscarriages, which weakened her position at court. At the same time, Henry's attention had shifted to Jane Seymour, who was seen as more submissive and more likely to secure the Tudor succession. Anne also had powerful enemies at court, particularly Thomas Cromwell, whose political and religious disagreements with her turned into active hostility. As Henry's affection cooled and her political protection disappeared, her opponents were able to turn suspicion into formal accusations. Her downfall unfolded rapidly. Trusted courtiers were arrested, and George Boleyn himself was executed at Tower Hill in May 1536, along with other men accused in the same alleged conspiracy. From crowned queen to prisoner within days, Anne was confined to the Tower of London, isolated and awaiting judgment as her world collapsed. In this final confinement, she wrote to the king not to beg for her life, but to demand a fair and lawful trial. In her plea, she famously writes, "Try me, good king, but let me have a lawful trial," insisting that she has not committed the crimes she is accused of, and asks not to be condemned without proper judgment. Anne still addresses Henry with loyalty as his most faithful and ever-loyal wife. She was tried and found guilty, and her execution was initially set for the 17th of May, 1536. However, it was briefly postponed by a few days as political and court arrangements were finalized, including preparations for Henry's next marriage to Jane Seymour. During this short and agonizing delay, Anne remained imprisoned in the Tower of London, knowing her fate was already sealed. She was ultimately executed on the 19th of May, 1536, at Tower Green, marking one of the most shocking and dramatic downfalls in Tudor history, and leaving behind a letter that captures the terrifying fragility of power for Tudor women.